do now. Moving on to unfinished business. Do we have any? Probably a lot of it. All of our business is unfinished. But I think that most of our business becomes new business at this point. So we'll move to new business. It's my take on this that there could be a lot of discussion and maybe very little approval of these items at this meeting, but maybe setting up some committees or some matter of getting to the decision. So let's look at item A, discuss and or approve director districts versus at-large elections. Time that we held the election as far as reorganizing, there were some people who did not like the idea of having all of the directors elected at large. The recommendation of the reorganization committee was to have them all at large. And John Scott, who worked on that committee and was chair or co-chair, I'm not sure which, co-chair, is here tonight, and I think he would probably like to speak to this issue a little bit.
Yeah. I was just going to try to give you the reason why the reorganization committee chose it, and why, I guess, I don't think we're not a reorganization committee anymore, but why I think it should stay that way. And so I'd just like to say it wasn't haphazardly chosen. We had our reasons, and I'd like to explain a couple of those. And you might have heard them before, but we felt that if there were two people running from the board from a same district, one candidate could eliminate the other candidate, and you have a chance of losing a good candidate. Where if it was at large, both of those candidates, if were elected, could serve on the board. So you're not canceling out a good candidate there. And then the opposite could be true too. If there was only a single person running from a district, and that person maybe had an agenda or not otherwise competent, there'd be nobody to run against that person. So he'd automatically come on the board. The third reason, if nobody was willing to run out of the district, and that's one of the reasons the Sac Community School District decided to go to the at-large method, because, you know, if we know how hard it is to get candidates to come up. Well, if nobody runs, and you know somebody's got to be appointed, or I don't know what for sure the protocol is there, but that could also happen. It was the current method in both districts when we came together. Both districts had the at-large method at that time. We thought it would be harder for a write-in candidate that was running unannounced or without giving their views or opinions. And another reason was when Lakeview, Auburn, and Wall Lake joined districts, we went through two votes. The first one didn't pass. It was for districts, and it had the language of districts. Don't know if that was the only reason or any part of the reason, but the first vote failed and it had districts. The second vote had at-large, and it passed. So we just looked back and seen what happened before. A lot of people have the conception that districts would be the Sac City School Committee District and the Wall Lake Community School District. Well, when we asked for a map outlining those, the map with the we were going to either choose 5 districts, or we had it narrowed down to either 5 districts or at large. Well, with the map with the 5 districts, has the city of Sac City divided into 3 of those. Their old district is divided 3 ways. You know, the town of Lakeview is almost two districts, and it goes a little bit north of town. So that district thing would change with population also, so if, you know, who knows what it looks like the next time. And, you know, it's just more confusing when you have, which district am I in, whatever. So it wasn't by the old districts. It was going to be divided by population. And we feel it would bring out the 5 best candidates, brings out the most voters, and it gives the concept of a new district. You know, everybody's supposed to represent what's good for the students. I thought it, you know, and everybody in the district has a chance to vote for every candidate. So I don't know how many people have approached you guys about trying to change it to districts. I know you guys have the power to do it, but we had over 800 signatures for the petitions when the petition said to have the two directors at large. And then when we voted for it, we had 77% of the voters vote yes for our reorganization. And that same language was at-large members. So I guess that's some of the evidence I'd like to present to keep it at large.
Anybody else like to comment about that? Anybody who's paying attention to what we're doing and read the minutes and the story in the paper relevant after the last meeting would realize that we're going to be considering this issue. How many of you were contacted by anyone relative to this?
I was not. I had not been before, and I have not since.
Me too.
I've had people talk to me at the time when we were going through the election, but not since the last meeting.
Well, I have had people talk to me since the last meeting, and I think maybe because I mentioned that possibly we should revisit this, since it was an issue at that time, that a lot of them got the impression that I was favoring going to districts, which was not the case. But anyway, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding out there about what districts would amount to. I think there are an awful lot of people that think that you would have 2 districts. The old Sac City Community School District and the WLBA District.
Right.
Now, you know, how are you going to apportion that? First of all, by population, you're going to have to continue to reapportion it. And I had several people, and actually all of them from the Sac Community School District, talk to me about this, and they all said they wanted to see it be an at-large vote. Most of them said we should not be passing up the opportunity to have 5 best candidates on the Board of Education, and we feel that we might possibly be doing that if we went to the districts. So that's what I can add to this. I don't know if any of you have anything else that you'd want to add to it, but unless I would hear a motion to change what is already ordained, I would say we're set to elect that at large.